you stay. Stay there.
Hello, Coach. How are you doing, sir? Hello? Hello?
Hey.
Sir, Cole's computer is having problems. He had to restart it.
Who?
Cole Carmen.
Okay. Let's go ahead and get started. Let's see. I'm looking around. If you have camera access, you need to have your camera on. If you're in a dark room, you need to turn your lights on. Marshall, that includes you. I don't know where you're walking around to. And you got to be wearing Benedictine or a collared shirt of some sort. Okay, so I got to see that to prove that you are. If I can't see it, I got to kick you out. Okay, I see you, Xavier. Okay, Sam is. Berthie. All right, I'm done reminding you guys. You guys got to figure this out. Berthie, I'm removing you. I'm done reminding you guys. Tate. Parker. All right. Gary, you got something Benedictine on, bud. Marshall, turn the lights on. Eric. All right, we're set. All right, so let's see. Terrence, you're late. John, you're late. Where are your videos? Tate, would you pray for us, please? I'm going to unmute you, Tate. There we go.
In the name of the Father, Son, Holy Spirit. Glory be to the Father, to the Son, to the Holy Spirit, as it was in the beginning, is now, and shall be, world without end. Amen.
Okay, and the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. All right, how we doing today?
Pretty good.
Pretty good, Biggs?
Yep.
Glad to hear it. You guys have a test coming up this weekend. I'm going to make it available for you to complete anytime on Friday. Okay, so you've got Friday to complete that test. Once you do that, you're good. You're good for this unit. John Davis, I'm going to go ahead and remove you. Told you to start your video. You haven't. See you later. Oh, I think I moved somebody besides John Davis. Shoot. Oops. All right, now John Davis is gone. Okay. So, yeah, you guys are going to have a test. I'm going to provide you information for that test on sometime Thursday or on Friday, and then you'll have all of Friday to complete that test and be ready for it. And it's going to cover everything that we've gone over on World War I, which we're finishing today. Any questions about that? If so, just unmute yourself. All right, cool. So what we're going to do is we're going to look real quickly at a video on, and we're going to see how this works. Sometimes the videos on this are a little choppy, but this is talking about this is illustrating to you casualties in World War I, okay? Because part of what I want to emphasize today as we wrap up World War I is just how awful World War I was, okay? And so the video is going to lag a little bit. It's going to be a little irritating. I just ask you to kind of, try to look past that. And I think the videos, even with the lag, you should be able to, see and appreciate what's going on here. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen so you can see that.
Coach, should we take notes or?
No, you're just looking at this. It's literally like a 2-minute video. Okay, just illustrating casualties in World War I. That's all it is.
All right.
All right. Bigelow, can you see this?
Yep.
All right, cool. All right, so I'm going to play it. And like I said, it might be a little choppy, but I think we can work with that anyway. So you guys should be following. Each box is a coffin, right? That's how many casualties they had. And so we didn't even have a chance to talk about what happened in Asia with Japan and all that. But there were people from Japan who were killed during World War I. Okay, so we're only just now getting to the United States, and they only spent a month in the a year in the conflict. We're not even at the big countries yet. All right, so that's pretty much it. I mean, you guys saw the Eiffel Tower go by in the background, and just for my own information purposes, let's see, were you guys able to see that? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Did it lag a little bit?
A little bit.
I thought it might. So who were the top two in terms of casualties? Somebody besides Bigelow. What did you see, Eric?
The Ottomans and the Russians.
Yeah, Ottomans and the Russians. I mean, just blew everybody else out of the water. Okay, so hopefully that illustrates a little bit just how awful that conflict was. So, with that being said, I'd like to just kind of catch up with where we were, rehash a little bit, and what were some of the things we talked about. Let's see, Marshall, give me something we discussed yesterday.
I forgot.
Not one thing. You can't provide me one thing we talked about yesterday. Pretend participation points relied on providing me something from 2 days ago.
I would have to get my notes out.
Okay, well, if you've got to be able to do this without notes. Someone else, Darrell.
The 14 points.
Okay, the 14 points, and those were created by who, Darrell?
It was American president.
Yeah.
Was it Wilson?
Woodrow Wilson, yes. Logan Melendez, provide me one of those 14 points.
I don't know.
Something we talked about the other day.
I have no idea.
Did you watch the video?
No, sir.
Okay. Let's see. Tate, what about you? 114, one of the 14 points.
The free seas.
Okay, yeah. Freedom of the seas. Freedom of the seas. And why did they create that one, Tate?
Because of the U-boats, I think.
Yeah, because of the U-boats. Henry Guire, something else we talked about the other day.
Free trade.
Okay, yeah, that they wanted free trade between all the countries. Brian Smith, provide me another thing.
Deduction of arms.
The reduction of armaments. Yes. So good. Miles Bridges, provide me something else.
Hold on. Oh, that's free trade. Readjustment of Italy frontiers along the lines of nationality.
Okay. So that was one of the 14 points we didn't necessarily discuss, but you're correct. So there's this idea of self-determination, right? Self-determination. Countries have the right to decide for themselves, if they want to be their own country or whether they want to be under the rule of somebody else. Good. So how did countries like France and Great Britain want to handle Germany, Parker Tootle?
What was that again?
How did Britain and France want to handle Germany?
Take all their land.
Didn't necessarily want to. Okay, so they wanted to take pieces of land for them. Did they want to be really hard on them? Did they want to cut them some slack? How was this different from the Congress of Vienna?
Weren't they like hard on?
Yes, really hard on them. Okay, so that's what they wanted to do. Okay, so that's a key point of understanding. All right, so let's get into it. So I'll share again with you guys.
Coach Walker.
Yes, sir.
John said he's trying to get in. I know you kicked him out, but he said his speakers weren't working, so he couldn't hear anything you said. So he didn't hear you say turn his camera on or nothing.
Okay. Can he attempt to get on another device?
I'll tell him. He said he's gonna try.
Okay. If he can get on another device, I'll cut him some slack this time. Just in the future, just make sure that you guys, part of the reason is he got screwed over is because he came in late. So, he wasn't able to take the time to explain it because he got in late. So
and then Coach,
make sure you're getting in on time.
Coach, what map? But you said we're gonna have to have a map of World War I. Which one? What year are you talking about?
Just a standard World War I map. You can go on. I can go on Blackboard real quick and show you.
Oh, you have one on Blackboard?
There is one in the map packet on Blackboard. You've been to that map packet before, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, so there should be a World War I map in there.
Okay.
All right.
Coach, you when you said you kicked out another person, you kicked out D. He said I think he requested to get back in here.
Who did I kick out?
D.
I didn't kick out Darrell.
He said he got kicked out. He just texted me.
Oh, I just asked him a question a little while ago and he answered it. I didn't. There's no way I kicked him out. Let me see. Okay, I see Darrell. I think he just ended up getting himself kicked out or something. Darrell, for the record, I did not kick you out.
Say it again.
For the record, I did not kick you out.
I know it's my good connection. I see it.
All right. Let's see here. The connection's kind of bad for me this morning too. All right, so let's just pick up with where we left off. All right, so we were talking about, we'd gotten through talking about this, the 14 points, Woodrow Wilson's 14 points. We got through talking about the Treaty of Versailles, the terms of the treaty. I think we got all the way through the terms, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, so that means that we are here. All right, so this is, we're talking about the U.S. End up rejecting the Treaty of Versailles, which is interesting for reasons that we'll talk about. So Wilson's big mistake. Okay, so we're not really going to get into U.S. politics. We cover that more a couple years from now when you guys are in my U.S. government class. All right, I see John Davis. All right, so Woodrow Wilson's big mistake was that he did all his homework, but he didn't run any of that homework by Congress. And who is responsible for making treaties in the United States? Those of you who might know a little bit about U.S. politics.
The Congress?
It isn't the Congress.
Isn't it like the whole group of people?
Well,
It's some
they
group of
play a
people.
part, but it's not making the treaty. Who makes the treaty?
Isn't the Senate?
Part of Congress.
House of Representatives.
Nope, that's also part of Congress. So the president makes the treaty. So Wilson didn't do a bad thing in that he, made the treaty. He made those 14 points. He went over to Paris. He talked about it. All of those were the right things to do. The mistake that he made was not running it by Congress, because what role does Congress have in treaty, in the treaty making process?
Approving it?
They've got to approve it. Congress approves it. Both the House of Representatives and the Senate are part of Congress, and so they've got to approve. They've got to approve it. And so, because Wilson didn't take his homework to them, say, "Hey, does this look good to you?" before I take it over to Europe, there were a lot of members of Congress who were kind of miffed at this and miffed at him that they had been left out of this very important process. So, they looked at Woodrow Wilson. So Wilson goes, where does Wilson go to negotiate the treaty?
Versailles.
Yeah, he goes to Versailles. And so while he's away at Versailles, he's got members of Congress going behind his back and drumming up opposition to that treaty. Okay. And we'll talk about what problems they end up having with the treaty here in a second. So his big mistake, it was a great treaty, but he didn't go to Congress. They're resentful about being left out, which we discussed, and they reject the League of Nations idea because it could lead to involvement in foreign wars. So what did we say, Sam Saunders, what did we say that League of Nations was?
It's like a meeting for like all the countries.
Yes. And
like
so,
the United Nations.
And so, Sam, how could being involved with the League of Nations lead to involvement in foreign wars?
Like other countries could ask, I guess, the U.S. to like help them out and in the meetings and stuff.
Yeah, I think if they asked, though, the U.S. could, the worst thing that could happen would be that the U.S. could say no, right? So the problem was, and this is how Congress saw it, is that if the League of Nations approved going to war against somebody like Congress, it would require that U.S. troops be sent. So in other words, the U.S. people, the U.S. government, the president, Congress, nobody would have a say, because if the League of Nations approves it, then it's happening. And U.S. troops get sent overseas to problems that don't necessarily involve them. What was the reason that the United States got involved so late in the war? Why didn't they get involved from the very beginning, Robbie Bigelow?
Because they're isolationists and they didn't see the war as their problem. They saw it as a European war.
Right. So if you have, if you have World War II, right, maybe the United States sees that as a European problem. And, lo and behold, 30 years later, or 25 years later, that's exactly how they'll see it. So, good. So the Treaty of Versailles was really doomed from the start. And there's a couple of reasons for that. What did we say was the problem with how the other European nations wanted to handle Germany? Go ahead, Biggs.
They wanted to treat them way too harshly and take away too much military power and basically cut a lot of the country off in half.
Right. And so what I want you guys to realize is that what this treaty does it essentially sets everyone up for World War II, in that the German country really doesn't stand a chance. And those of you guys who are familiar with World War II, I'll ask you, Joseph Fox, what did Hitler end up doing? Okay, or how did Hitler end up becoming so popular? What was his key selling point?
Didn't he want to come back from World War One?
Yeah. Okay. So restore Germany's greatness. What? Cole Carmen. Anything else?
I don't know.
You know? Okay, well, we're going to learn about it shortly. So mainly this idea of restoring Germany's greatness. And if Germany feels like, and the German people feel like their greatness was taken away from them by force, they're going to have a problem with that. So one problem, the big problem was that second point. It left a legacy of hate and bitterness, but also the fact that even though the U.S. comes up with this idea of the League of Nations, when Woodrow Wilson takes this treaty back to Congress to sign, Congress refuses to sign it. They just straight up refuse. And so the ironic thing about it is, who came up with the League of Nations?
Wilson.
The United States. And now the United States is not even a member. So it really wasn't going to have much power from the start. And so because you got this, national police force that really isn't of power from the start, it's going to be kind of handicapped. And you're going to have countries like Germany 20 years down the road that are going to try to push the envelope a little bit more. I see a couple of you guys are still writing, so I'll give you a little bit of time. All right. So let's talk a little bit about the legacy of World War I. Europe was essentially in ruins, mainly the country of France, Belgium. Cities, towns are destroyed. You got places that literally look like Roman ruins that were once towns only 5 years before. You've got land, as we've said in the past, that still cannot be inhabited because World War I tore it up so much. Perhaps even worse, you've got a lost generation of young men. Most European young were killed, maimed, or suffered severe mental disorders. And just to kind of give you a point for, just to kind of give you a point for comparison, let's say that you guys as a class, and I'm looking right now, it looks like there are 20 of you in here, including me. So 19 of you, one of me. Let's say that you represent the people or the young men who fought in World War I. Let's say from a country like Great Britain. I'll just shout out some names. Brian Smith, Siegler, Plagueman, Logan, Carmen, Rhodes, Miles, Marshall, John Davis, Xavier Mears, Henry Guire. All of you were casualties in World War I. You died. Sorry. Bigelow, Fox, Saunders, Cosby, and me, we were all hurt. And when I say hurt, I'm not talking about a scratch on the knee. I'm talking about we're missing a leg or we're blind. And so that leaves Eric Kaler, Tootle, and Wyatt Niefler, and Durrell as the survivors. Congratulations, you've survived World War I. You get to live with a lifetime of mental scarring and PTSD. Congratulations. That's what World War I was. An entire generation of men just wiped off the map. Winston Churchill said it best. He said that there were no real winners. There were no real winners from World War I. And so, guys, it's been interesting because, you know, what was our very first unit? Does somebody remember what was the very first thing we spoke about?
Columbus?
Around that time period, we talked about the Protestant Reformation, right? Martin Luther and all that. From that point in time, going forward to now, in all of your World History 1 classes too, Europe was the deal. That ends very suddenly in just 5 years. Now there's a new country that has become the new power. Actually 2, really. But mainly just one country. What country is that?
America.
Yes. And that's not because, it's not because they had grown a lot. They had, but it's because these European countries just tore each other to shreds. All right. So we've got 30 minutes left. I want to take a second and I want to look at a few World War I poems that kind of get at the legacy of World War I and what it was all about. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to separate you guys into groups. You're going to pull up these poems and you're going to discuss them. So I'm going to put this in the chat right now. So everyone should be able to see this. So if you go there, you should be able to view that document. What you're going to do is you're going to copy and paste it, and you're going to work on it in your group. Your groups are going to be assigned here in a second. I'm going to put you guys in. I'm going to put you guys in 6 separate groups. And we're going to create these rooms. And what you're going to do, and if you're absent, okay, so I'm talking to guys on YouTube now. If you're absent, I'd like you to go and do this on your own and send it to me, okay? So go through this, follow the instructions. You're each going to be assigned a poem. So breakout room number 1, that is Carmen, Miles, Bigelow, and Plagueman. You guys are going to do what is it called? Selection number 1. Eric, John Davis, and Sam Saunders, you guys are going to do selection number 2. Breakout room number 3, that's Squire, Brian Smith, and Wyatt Niefler. You're going to do selection number 3. Parker Tootle, Rhodes, and Xavier Mears, you guys do selection number 1. Davin, Gary Marshall, selection number 2. Darrell Joseph Logan, selection number 3. All right. So you create a document amongst the 3 of you, a Google document. Copy and paste the stuff in the document that I just sent you, and you're going to answer the 4 questions associated with that document. You got to read the poem and then just answer the questions as a result of the poem. Everybody understand? Okay, so I'm going to open the rooms and I'm going to move through the rooms. Before we get to 9:50, I'm going to probably 9:45. I'm going to bring us back together. If you're not completely done with it, it's not the end of the world, but I'll bring us all back together, so don't leave beforehand. All right? Here we go. Eric, you with me? Xavier?
Hey, Coach.
Hey. So work on creating that document now. All 3 of you should also pull up that poem. Just go through it. It's a short poem. It won't take very long, and just answer those 4 questions.
I don't think I got the poem. I don't know where to find it.
If you just Google it, Bigelow.
What's it called?
You guys had selection 1, Dulce et decorum est. Look at the document.
All right.
All right, I shared it with everyone.
All right.
You guys good to go?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
All right, I'm moving on.
Oh, yeah. Coach Walker,
Yes, sir.
which one did we get assigned again?
You got selection number 2. Your breakout room number 2. You got selection number 2.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
You see that, right? It's Charge of the Light Brigade, I believe.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, we go with that. You guys have probably read that before, haven't you?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay,
Mr.
well then you should be familiar with it. Perfect.
Sir.
So first process should be just create that document and share it with one another. Make sure your last names are in the title of the document.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Yeah, I got a couple more if you want to see them. They're even better.
How did all you lamos get in the same group?
Wow.
Gosh, I would, in hindsight, I would change this up immediately. All right, how we doing?
Working.
Fine.
You guys understand? You guys know your poem, yes?
Yes, the third one, I believe.
Yeah, in Flanders Fields.
Yep.
Okay, so have you created that document yet?
I have.
Needs making it.
Okay, yeah.
I just
Create
did.
it, share it with everybody. I just need one person to. I just need one document between the 3 of you, and all 3 of you can work on it.
I shared it.
All right, cool. Any questions?
No.
Nope. Oh hell! What kind of group is this?
What?
Man, they randomly assigned you guys to the same group. There's no way I would have done this. You guys good to go? If you guys know your selection and all that?
Yeah.
All right. You've got some sort of playback, Terrence Rhodes. I got like an echo going on. Terrence, is that Jesus back there? What's going on?
Yes, that is Jesus.
Is that a black Jesus?
Yes.
Okay. Just checking. I wasn't sure. Any questions?
No.
All right. Somebody, Terrence, you good?
Yeah, I don't have any questions.
All right. Xavier, you good?
Yes, sir, I'm good.
All right. Good man.
Quick. What was his combat experience?
Oh, Joseph, I'm sorry to put you in the group with these guys. Hopefully you can save your grade.
Yeah. Okay. He served in the Boer War in South Africa. From 1899 to 1900.
Top coach.
It's a cute little diamond stud. I wasn't able to see that in the classroom. Smaller. Oh, you got two.
I have to what?
Okay. It doesn't help with the metrosexual stereotype we have going on here.
Metrosexual. I still don't even know what that means. Like doesn't that mean have good fashion?
What happened to the poster of the scantily clad woman back there?
He's on my wall right here next to my bed. I thought it was a little too much since we're recording the classes now. You know?
Yeah, since we're at a religious school
and I put her right next to Jesus, which I thought was a little.
Yeah, it's a little interesting choice.
So you say, hold on. You said so. We read Charge of the Light Brigade before this, for like English.
Yeah.
Saying I'm doing summarize with the poem, saying in your own words, but the poems don't really say anything. It's like describing, like just like the negatives of war, of like how these soldiers don't have a reason they're going in to die, and they're coming like not many come out alive, and like how war is really dangerous, and there's a lot of you know what I'm talking about? Like
sounds like you just summarized it.
Okay.
Sounds like a summary to me. Marshall, is this your birthday?
It was yesterday.
Okay, happy birthday.
Thank you.
How old are you?
15.
15.
You're the same age as me.
Voice correct. I know you said.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Davin, you watch that MJ documentary?
Yes, sir.
Coach Walker, Chris got accepted to Benedictine.
Oh, yeah.
God. It's going to be so bad.
I don't think I've seen him since he was, 2?
Yeah, well, now he's 6'5" and 230 pounds.
And not playing football.
No, he is. I made him. He's playing.
Okay. Good.
He's playing. My mom was like, I'll play if you buy me a Speedflex. So I bought him an $800 Speedflex, and now he's playing.
Good.
It was worth it because now I'll just be able to live off of him when he gets to the NFL. So I won't have to work a day in my life.
Yeah, not much changes from the way things are now.
Alright. It's saying describing negative war. I can't start a sentence with and, right?
No, you really shouldn't.
So what should I say? I said the poem was Charles Lebrige saying and describing the negatives of war. What should I say, like, to say that?
Maybe like bring up a couple of the things he discusses as being negatives. Like, don't just say negatives of war, right? You know, you want to talk about a couple of.
I'm gonna elaborate on it, but I just need like a connecting, like a linking word almost that. Hear the, you know what I'm saying?
How about and?
That's what I did, but like I feel like I'd be a run-on sentence. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, well then just create 2 sentences.
That's what I'm gonna do, but I don't know what to start the sentence with. Like what word? I can't use and to start the sentence.
In addition, additionally, moreover.
Well, I didn't. Additionally was not the first word that came to mind.
You've probably never said moreover though in your life.
Never even heard it.
All right.
Hey, Coach.
Hey, you guys making good progress?
Pretty good progress. I think we're getting close to finishing up.
Okay, you are? Okay, good. Well, when you are, you guys can come back to the main session.
Okay.
And just make sure you share it with me.
Well, I'll do that.
You want everyone sharing it with you, or can one person share it with you and we can put our names?
I just need one person sharing it. I don't need 20 emails.
Sounds good.
You guys doing all right?
Yes, sir.
Figuring it out?
Sir. Sir.
Cool.
Sir. Wait.
Do you think you'll finish in the next couple minutes or no?
I'm almost done with the last question.
Okay. Well, just when you guys wrap it up, just making sure it's shared with me. Okay. And and then you can leave your breakout room. But come back to the main session. Don't leave until 9:50, please.
Yes.
Okay.
All right. Sam, you're not doing all the work, are you?
No, sir.
All right.
We
John Davis, you're doing something, aren't you?
Yes, sir. I did the second question.
Okay. Oh, you did the second question. Well, hey, don't kill yourself, okay?
We're like breaking it up, sir.
Just make sure after this you take a nap or something, just because I know that's taxing on you.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right.
I will. I got a free period.
Just looking out for you. Oh, good.
Thank you, sir. Yes, sir.
Period.
So we still have to do number 2 now.
You got one more question?
Yes.
Okay. So just wrap that one up. I don't know if we're going to have time to meet together as a class, but stay on till 9:50 and I'll just remind you guys about the test.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. So summary of the poem.
Toodle, you doing all right?
Yeah.
Looks like you're chilling, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's about what I thought. Have you guys finished?
Yeah.
100%?
Yeah.
All right. Well, we're gonna meet back as a class for a second. We're not gonna have time to go over these, but just make sure you share it with me, okay? All right. Good talk.
Cause like they went into the war, knowing like they wanted to die. Like
I don't think anybody wants to die.
but they went into the war just ready to die.
Davin, why do you say that? Why do you say they want to?
Well, cause they were convinced to be ready to die. Basically,
Well, I guess they wanted the glory, like
they were. I will read that they was given a speech.
they
And,
wanted.
like,
They were giving a speech so they wanted to die. No,
It was like, there's nothing to do but to die.
I'm gonna say positive.
Yeah, I mean, I think both of you guys are right. I think that, Gary, what you were saying about a positive view, and the reason they have a positive view is because
They're also
what happened?
negative. Like that not many people come back, that there's a ton of casualties and there's cannons everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And the shattered and like they go through the jaws of death. Like I'm gonna say negative actually.
Okay, well, I'll let you guys work it out. I don't, you guys are smart guys and you've done this poem before, so. All right, hey, make sure you guys share that document with me, okay?
Logan said he did.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I shared it with you.
All right, cool. Okay, I'll leave you guys with this. If you haven't shared that document with me, please do it. We didn't get quite as far with that as I had hoped. So what we'll do is we'll plan on going over those documents next Monday. The test, I will end it. Like I said, I'll share all that information with you guys at some point tomorrow after I have my last world history class. But just pay attention to your emails. Pay attention to the announcements. I'll put something up there as well. So there's really no excuse why we shouldn't get that done. I don't know whether it'll be in class documents or whether it'll be on Flexi Quiz or something like that, but I'll make sure that you guys have all the information you need when that time comes. If you have any questions, you can stay on, but right now you are welcome to go to your next class.
See you, Coach.
See you later.
All right, Coach.
Coach.
All right, Coach. See ya.
See ya.
I sent you my notes from the video.
Eric, you're the man.
Yes, sir. All right, thank you, sir.
Mr. Walker. Mr. Walker.
Yes, sir.
I turned in the World War I group work like the day it was due, and then I got a 0 for it.
Okay, there were a couple other kids that mentioned the same thing, so you might have fallen into the same basket as them. I'll provide you credit for that, but Logan, we have got to stay on top of things.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, I know this is tough and it requires discipline, but you got to discipline yourself to a certain extent. It's not nearly as hard as being in class.
Yeah, I know. Right.
All right. Talk to you later.
All right.